attitude makes you to achieve more than you can achieve with any other thing. So attitude is key. And so changing of attitude through the John National Academy and other boarding school was key. The John National Academy, General Gowon, as a former head of state, there's nobody who could have traveled more than him. And again, after his overthrow, he stayed in London for almost 5, 6, 7 years doing his doctorate. And by the time he came back, he was pardoned and he has been in Nigeria. He was the one that commissioned the John National Academy. And I'm quoting him, I have never seen a secondary school of this nature anywhere in the world. And so you have some structures there. What you see there is the hostels. Even a university does not have this kind of hostel. Many universities don't have this type of hostel. At your far right there, you can see the admin block, and you can see the ICT stroke library that they have there at the John National Academy. So it's quality looking at our core values. Now, still part of the John National Academy, what you see there is the staff quarters. You also have the dining hall, and then you have the laboratories, and then you have the what we call the auditorium to dining hall. So clearly, we have done what we intended to do there. I talked about the Borotan. You can see some pictures of the residents in Borotan. What you are seeing there is a 4-bedroom flat. The other one is a 5-bedroom duplexes, and we have about 6, 7 of them there. There's a pavilion, there's a library, there is a hostel, 2 hostel blocks also in the Borotan. Next slide. That is the spectators pavilion. In case there are programs going on, people have to gather within the area to make to discuss. That is the pavilion at Borotan. Next slide. The most important of all, because if you build for God, God build for you. The pastors around here can testify, especially the head of service. We are not pastors, but I'm also not a layman. So I'm in between clergy and lay by virtue of so I think they will give us a name, but I build myself as a lay clergy. So as an apostle of the lay clergy, we decided to construct the economical center. Now, Bayelsa is the glory of all lands, and there's no place where you should have God exalted and magnified. And there's no way, having passed the bill for the Thanksgiving that every November we must gather to thank God. You don't gather at an unholy place to thank God. For example, this Gabriel Class Social Center is not limited to religious activities. So anybody can come and do whatever he likes here. But that would not be good for us to be thanking God in this kind of environment. And so the economical center was built, a 15,000-seater capacity, and you can see it both day and at night. There's no way Bayelsa cannot remain, cannot be the glory of all land, because at night you can see the glory of God in the building, bottom. At afternoon, you can see the glory of God in the building at afternoon. Next slide. That is the interior. That is the interior of the economical center. These are not magic. You just need to drive to Igbogene and you see what we are saying. The altar there is rotating. If you are talking on the altar, if I were to be on the altar now, I'll be turning around as you are listening. And the essence is that as we are turning around, everything is turning around for the good of Bayelsa State. The equipment there is just only one other medical center in Lagos that has some of the equipment we have. And there are others we have that do not have. So if you want your medicals, and I know a number of Bayelsans who had issues of health, which were not diagnosed, but who went to the diagnosis center and they had effective diagnosis. So classical MRI, CT scan, endoscopy, everything can be done there. That is, they can put something into your mouth and know the whole of your intestine. And as they are doing that, you are also seeing it on the screen. So I urge us to take advantage of that center. Next slide. Now, like I said, the intention is to have what we call medical tourism. And so we have provided quarters for the medical staff to remain. What you see on your far right is the restaurant and supermarket. Above is the 3-bedroom staff quarters. On the left here is 1 bedroom, and above there is the police post and station. It's working already, and we intend to flag this up. The Commissioner for Health will talk more about that. Now, you know that Bayelsans, before we came into board, the Niger Delta University Teaching Hospital had no accreditation. And so the university has got accreditation, and there was a need for us to train our interns and house officers within Bayelsa State. The Federal Medical Center had no quarters for them. And so we have to build this. It is a two-story building, 2 blocks, that is ready just behind us here for our interns and house officers. Next slide, please. We've also completed a clubhouse within the local lodges. Now, why do we build a clubhouse? The essence is that in other parts of the country, you have the Port Harcourt Club. When you go to Lagos, you have the Island Club, you have the Ikeja Club, you have this club, you have that club. The essence of such club is that it's for people to socialize and also proselytize ideas about the development of the state. It is not meant for any political parties. If you go to Lagos, sometimes quarrel in Lagos do not degenerate because they are in a club. And so when they are in the club, if an elder comes in and a junior is sitting down and does not greet the elder very well, he's told to ask what is happening between the two of you. If he tells the story within the club, those issues are resolved. So the essence of this clubhouse is to both resolve social and political issues in Bayelsa State. So let us make use of the clubhouse so that our issues will not boil over and we'll fight them in the media or we'll fight them publicly by asking our youth to carry AK-47. We have the University of Africa, a citadel. That is one of the academic blocks at the University of Africa. Like I said, this was one decision that needed to have been taken and was taken. At the far right top is the hostel building, and then at the left hand right there is a part of the Faculty of Agriculture under construction. Next slide. That is the government house, gate house. I wanted them to show the caravan, which we used to have there, but unfortunately they said they don't have enough space for my pictures. And so I've told the Commissioner for Information that next time, if he wants to call Commissioner for Works for a presentation, he should create enough space, because I will definitely come in with my bulldozer, I will come in with my tractor, I will come in with my paver. So if you don't create enough space for me, I won't be able to demonstrate fully, because I needed to have come in with my full regalia. Now, next slide. That is the senior staff quarters in Government House that has been completed, very ready to put into use. The next slide, that is the cardiovascular center. Like you saw in the advert, for the first time, we have done a vascular recanalization in this state. That operation was done here in the Government House Specialist Hospital, sorry, the Bayelsa Specialist Hospital in September last year. So that is the cardiovascular center that is meant to treat cardiovascular and renal diseases. Slide, yes, that is the heliport. You can see the pad there, and that is the terminal building for the helipad. For the past 2 years now, VIP was commissioned by the Vice President, Professor Osibajo, in 2016. We are using it now for our shuttles. That's the interior of the helipad. Next slide. That is the Security Command and Control Center. Well equipped, like I said, there is almost half coverage of CCTV in Bayelsa State. So from there, they can visualize what is happening in the state and link crime and criminality on the board. Next slide. That is the earlier supermarket and restaurant at the 500-bed hospital. Next slide. This is the NDU Senate building. On the right there is the NDU Senate building. The next one is the specialist hospital going on, and on the bottom corner is the auditorium at the University of Africa. Next slide. This is the completed JTSP dualized road. All of us see this. That is a part of the police headquarters you are seeing on part of the road. Next slide. That is the dualized Azikoro road. Everybody knows that. I don't need to talk about that. The next slide. That's the dualized extended Eradri road. At the end of it is where you have the Tourist Island Bridge. You can see what the road was like up there and what the road is now. And I always say it is better to have an ambitious person than to have a non-ambitious person. That is what ambition can bring about, a complete turnaround. Next slide. On my left was the Tombia Etegwe Road when I was sworn in, and the bridge when I was sworn in. On my left today bottom is the road and the bridge. Like I said, bye-bye to Colonial Bridge in Bayelsa State. Next slide. This is the Heroes Park. Our contribution is the roads and a few mausoleums there, but the Commissioner for Issue Affairs will talk more about that. This is the hospital route that is just by us here that was dualized. The next slide. Next slide. That is the Bogene Road that have been dualized. We also know what the Bogene Road used to look like. And in those days, when you want to go to Okoloburi or you want to go to Obuya, you have to pray because you descend and then you try to ascend. And unfortunately, if you descend it wrongly, you can actually descend into the canal there. So today is a different story. That's the internal road in Krokrosi. Next slide. That is the restoration flyover, the first flyover in Bayelsa State. Next slide. That is the Ogbeanembe Road, for which we made contributions. Next slide. That is the Bayelsa Palm AIT Road. You can see the street lights. The road is ready for commissioning. And because we do not believe that commissioning is the only time we use projects, we use most of our projects without commissioning. Because we believe that it's not a necessity to commission projects. Providing social infrastructure is one of the duties of government as provided for under the second chapter of the Constitution, objective of the REP principle. And so we feel whatever we do should not be over-advertised by spending so much money on what we call commissioning. That is the other part of the Swale-Osbo Lake Road, which we have completed, and then the beginning of the Azigboro Road. Next slide. That's the dualized road safety road, which is just by the other end of where we are staying here now. Then the construction of Swale roundabout, where you have the markets. We keep telling our women not to stop trading there. But their trading has also given the road some beauty, adding color to the road. But it's dangerous. Next slide. That is the link road between Tororowa and Angalabri. They used to have difficulties getting across themselves. They use boats to communicate, but today they can communicate on land. Next slide. That is the Torebeni Ogobri Bridge and Access Road. So with this bridge crossed, we have linked Bayelsa Central to Bayelsa West. And so the idea of the governor saying that he wants to hit the Atlantic in the three fronts of East, Central, and West is still being pursued vigorously. Next slide. These are some internal roads in Tororowa. Next slide. That is the Waterboard Road that we have dualized close to the Samsiasa Stadium. Next slide. That is the access road to Borutan. On the left airstrip, you can see what the road used to look like. Next slide. Some of the ongoing projects. This is the ring road from AIT to Igbogene. And you can see that stone base is already there. And we hope to pursue this vigorously before the close of the administration. That is the apron for the Bayelsa International Cargo Airport. The Bayelsa Airport, we removed it from cargo. We want to bring passengers in, so it's now Bayelsa International Airport. The apron is completed. The apron is where you park your planes. And this apron is capable of taking 747-5 parked at the same time. And that is second to none in terms of airport capacity in this country. Next slide. That is the access road to the airport. Completed, just waiting for the road furnishers. And the road furnishers I mean here is to just paint the white and black by the side, the zebra lines on the road. That is the only thing we need to do on the road, otherwise that road is completed. Next slide. That is the Miringiri Bridge, for which I'm sure I'm going to be questioned. But don't worry, the man who is behind is either greeting his neighbor or is trying to get his act together before he comes. So June, definitely we are going to cross that bridge. Next slide. That is the Yenegbo-Opuruma Road. Now, Yenegbo-Opuruma Road, today, we have asphalt up to Igebri. So if you drive straight to Igebri, that was when we were constructing the first bridge close to Igebri. And today, you can drive to Igebri, and the charge is that, by the grace of God, all things working equal, April we should be able to drive to Agobri and then think of how to cross Agobri to Angama. Next slide. That is the access road to the University of Africa Senate building at Ororua. Next slide. This is the all-important Sabamai Keremo Road. So this is where I drive home now, with a lot of glamour and pride. And in fact, this morning, when I was driving back, I was putting my hand on the waist, like as if I'm still standing, because a lot of dignity, because it's not easy to come from your village to work and meet up work today. Most people cannot come to work from their villages yet. But with this, we can go there. And the target is that by December 2018, we should be able to drive like this to Ekremo, and that is the target. The Osbo Lake Road, again represented. This is the assembly bypass. Next slide, please. This is the assembly, old assembly quarters bypass. Next slide. This is the Aziboro Expressway. Julius Berger is coming to site in the next 3 weeks to resume work on that road and also take on the Kulelebede road. And you know Julius Berger, they come with a lot of things. So, next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, that's the Opololebele road. That is the old road, and that is the new road we are constructing on Opololebele. We are almost, as I said, Julius Berger is coming to take on this project to ensure that they are completed. Next slide. This is the access road to the government specialist hospital. It's no longer government house specialist hospital, it's Bayelsa State Specialist Hospital. Please correction for the records. Next slide. This is the access road to the Unegwe farms, where we have over 500 fish ponds. The Commissioner for Agri will come to talk to us about that. My own is to do road. I don't know what is inside the farm, but what I know is that I've done my road. This is the government house car park. Before we came in, there was no car park, and so everybody was parking on the road or parking right directly in the government house. So you find that this is quite modern. We have car park for the physically challenged, and we have car park for those who can get out easily. Next slide. This is the Deeper Life Road in Okutukutu that has been completed. Next slide. The Brigade of Guards quarter, like I said earlier, where the soldiers stay. Next slide. I think repetition, just go on. Next slide. This is the Jaw House, which defied completion by various governments, but was completed by the Restoration government. That project was started by Alamesia, passed through many governors, but we completed it, and today all the arms, organs of the Jaw race are meeting here. Today, if INC want to meet, they meet here. IYC want to meet, they meet here. That, I think, is a major identity. I don't think there's any other body in this world or in this country that has a unique house like this. Arewa does not have a house. They use government house and call it Arewa House. Justice Tabai Road that has been completed. Next slide. This is the Tourist Island Bridge. This is at the end of the Eradri Road. As you are driving down to Government House by the Onopa Junction, if you move down, you'll see that we have completed the launching of the beams on the first span, the first two spans. You can see that the difference between the pairs, that's a span. So we have completed the launching of the beam in the two spans. We are doing some in-situ casting in some of the spans, and they are doing the form work and the reinforcement for the casting of the bridge slabs. So we hope that by the grace of God, before the end of this year, we should be able to cross to the new Bayelsa, which is ahead of us, which the Commissioner for Lands and Survey will come and tell us about, and the Commissioner for Housing will talk to us about. Next slide. This is the remodeled former Deputy Governor's Castle. This ought to be the Deputy Governor's Castle, but this has been converted to a hotel, and so it's been remodeled to ensure serve that purpose within the tourist island. Next slide. More structures at the University of Africa, classrooms, hostel, and the laboratories under construction. Next slide. Next slide. Faculty of Agriculture, admin block, and hostels going on. Next slide. the high-profile roads which I mentioned, Road 24, 38, Road 27, Road 30, Road 31, and Road 28. The roads are those by Swale Emine, Pansha Market, excuse me, Pansha Market, the one leading to the GRA, the old GRA, opposite the PDP road, and then the one opposite Prosco and the rest. Next slide. That is the terminal building. Next slide. That is the terminal building at the Bayelsa International Airport. Work is going on. We believe that by the end of April, the job here will be completed. Next slide. That is the fire bay, and then the perimeter roads that need to go through the airport that is under construction. Next slide. That is the car park at the international airport. We found that we have already done our sand cement, we have done our stone base. By the end of March, the car park will be ready at the international airport. Next slide. And that is the almighty runway of the Bayelsa Airport that will run us into development and run development into Bayelsa. The truth is that the man who have roasted a goat that was poured water cannot be a lazy man. Thank you and God bless.